What up, Bucks fans, NFL fans, and gambling fans? Welcome back to week 7 of Pewter Picks and Props, brought to you by PewterReport.com. I'm your host, Matt Matera, and this is a special Monday Night Football edition with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Going to mix it up a little bit this week and have this whole entire episode focused strictly on Bucks versus Ravens. No college football this week, no other NFL, just Monday Night Football, the Bucks, the Ravens, and a boatload of player props to get into for this Monday night matchup. So thanks everybody for watching this video. We're going to start off with the spread, which is Bucks plus 3.5. I'm taking the Bucks at plus 3.5. I wrote this week on our Pewter predictions on PewterReport.com that the Ravens are going to win, but I never said that the Ravens were going to cover the spread. It's not very often you get a team at home being a 3.5-point underdog, especially a team like the Buccaneers, who already had a big win against the Detroit Lions this season. They're not in the upper echelon of the NFL, but they're certainly not a pushover by any means. We've seen the Bucs show the ability to hang with the big boys. The Ravens are a physical team, but they score a lot differently than some of the other opponents that the Bucs have lost to. And it should be a fun game. Ravens are, coming off of winning like 5 in a row, whatever it is. The Bucs got a win last week. But this is all about Baker Mayfield playing at a high level. I think the offense is going to be the group that sticks together and keeps this game very close. The Ravens have allowed a lot of points, so it's going to be a lot of back and forth playing. We'll see if the Bucs can run the football, but if they can run the football, they'll hang tight with the Baltimore Ravens. Again, a home game for the Bucs, a big time matchup, prime time. Last time they were on prime time, a little bit of embarrassing, allowing over 500 passing yards to Kirk Cousins. I don't think that's going to be the case this time around. So the Bucs are able to keep it close and cover plus 3.5. The over-under is 50.5 in this game. I'm a huge fan of the over, even though that's a very high number. The Bucs have hit the over in their last 3 games, including scoring 51 points against the Saints last week. The Ravens have hit the over in their last 2 games and 3 of their last 4. So this is going to be a high-flying matchup. Lamar Jackson will probably have his way against the Bucs defense if they can't get that pass rush going. They have the past couple of weeks, but Lamar Jackson is an MVP for a reason. They have tons of weapons. We also have to remember Tyreek Funderburg is starting at corner for the Buccaneers. So that's a matchup they're going to try to exploit and pick on him over and over and over. And going back to the Bucs offense, Baker Mayfield is playing at a very high level. Chris Godwin has been unbelievable this season, and they have a newly revamped running game. So should be a lot of points on the board. I'm very, very high on the over of 50.5 based on how these two teams have been playing lately. Moving on over to the player props. I have 5 player props along with an anytime touchdown, which finally hit last week. Thanks to Chris Godwin for that one. I'm going back to the well as far as this player, Chris Godwin, over 76.5 receiving yards. He was 3rd in the NFL going into the Sunday games in receiving yards. He's a locomotive. He's getting it done in all different ways. You can throw the screen to him. He can go deep down the field. He can run the short and intermediate routes. Ravens have a good team. Marlon Humphrey will probably be on him a lot. I like Humphrey, but it doesn't matter. Chris Godwin has been unbelievable this season. I have no reason to believe why he'll slow down in this game by any means, especially when the Bucs are really going to have to rely on him. So Chris Godwin over 76.5 receiving yards. Now, while Chris Godwin has dominated, we've seen this other receiver slowing down just a little bit, bothered by a hamstring and knee injury. He's going to play, but Mike Evans, I'm taking under 55.5 receiving yards. Mike just isn't himself right now. They try to get him involved early, but this is an injury that could flare up a good amount. I don't know how far down the field Mike is going to be able to go. And with the physical nature of the Ravens, it's an opportunity where he could get banged up even more. So hopefully I'm wrong and he can make a big impact. I just don't see it with this injury bothering Mike moving forward. I have a couple props for the Ravens in this game as well. Starting with Derek Henry. The Bucs went up against Derek Henry last season when he was on the Titans and really shut him down. I believe Tampa Bay is going to over pursue with stopping Derek Henry, and I'm taking under 85.5 rushing yards. You have to remember, Vita Vea is playing. That's a huge, huge win for the Bucs. Kalijah Cansey playing his second game in a row this season. Levante David, an extra day of rest. That's important for him as he's a little bit of an older player at inside linebacker. Jordan Whitehead could move up from the safety position, and he loves attacking the run. He's been pretty good in pass coverage as well. They are going to overcommit and over-pursue stopping Derrick Henry because they know if they can't, it's going to be a long, long night for that Bucs defense. So based on their mindset of they have to stop Derrick Henry, they're going to get under 85.5 rushing yards from him. On the flip side of that, though, I'm taking Lamar Jackson over 52.5 rushing yards. We saw the Bucs last week struggle with Spencer Rattler rolling out some designed play action rollouts. If Spencer Rattler was giving them fits, just imagine what Lamar Jackson can do as a runner. The Bucs have gotten a good push the last couple of weeks with the pass rush, but gap assignment, containment, and stuff has been a little fluky for the Buccaneers. Even week one, Jaden Daniels was able to run and escape and make plays. Lamar Jackson is the most electric quarterback in the league in that area. He's going to find some room to run. The Bucs do a good job of getting the pressure, but not always finishing the job. So a couple of design rollouts for Lamar Jackson could do a lot of damage. So I'll take over 52.5 rushing yards. And this next one, a defensive player prop. He made his return last week, scored a touchdown. I expect him to be heavily involved in this game. Antoine Winfield Jr. over 5.5 tackles. We'll see if he ends up covering a lot of the tight ends, whether it's Likely or Andrews or even Kolar. Ravens are going to get their tight ends involved a lot. Antoine Winfield Jr. also is a big-time blitzer. I'm sure he gets a couple of blitzes in going after Lamar Jackson or even some run blitzing. He's going to have his imprint on this game. I think last week, and he played well. He scored a touchdown. That was about knocking the rust off. Now we're going to get all-pro Antoine Winfield Jr. and get over 5.5 tackles. He'll be all over the place in this game. And my last pick, the touchdown prop, as we always finish with, of course. Let's remember, last week, Chris Godwin finally hit. I'm going with another wide receiver this week, one that's making his return for the first time since the Eagles game. Taking a Trey Palmer anytime touchdown. It's a pretty big payout due to the odds of him scoring a tutty. And he was great as wide receiver 3 in that game against the Eagles. I think made 3 catches, had that touchdown. Was doing some good stuff, but then unfortunately had a concussion. But he's going to be back this week. I think Jalen McMillan is still very limited, and it's going to be a little bit of an audition between Trey Palmer and Sterling Shepard, who can lock down that wide receiver 3 role. I think they're both going to get their opportunities, but Trey Palmer, he sprinkles in touchdowns here and there, and I'm going to take that risk with Trey Palmer to score a touchdown in tonight's matchup. Should be a lot of fun. Bucs have a chance to have their own spot in first place in the NFC South with the win based on the Falcons losing. These are two good teams. Another measuring stick game for the Buccaneers. Very excited to watch it. I'm very much looking forward to hitting all of these bets. So I appreciate you all for tuning in this week. A special Monday night edition just focusing on the Buccaneers. Let me know in the comments if you want me just to stick with Bucs games, or I can go back to picking college football and the rest of the NFL as well. In the meantime, you can follow me on my social media at Matty4_Matera. Follow at Pewter Report. Make sure you like and subscribe to Pewter Report TV. Check out all of our social media and all of that fun stuff. So that's going to do it for me on today's show. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Enjoy the game tonight, and let's win some money. Out.